Hey everyone. High five. Social Security audits have begun. Are you ready? Clawbacks. What are clawbacks? The truth retirees aren't being told. Okay? This is pretty scary stuff, but it must be told, okay? Let's begin the real talk today. Something is happening to retirees all over the country. People who paid into the system of Social Security, into the whole system, their whole lives. People who trusted Social Security to give them the amount they were told they were going to get and to do it correctly. And now, out of nowhere, they're getting letters saying, you owe us thousands of dollars. Yeah, unbelievable. Some letters say 88,000. Some letters say 21,000. Some letters say 18,000. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine getting something like that? Talk about high blood pressure. Imagine getting into your mailbox and seeing a letter like that, opening it up. You're retired, you're budgeting every single penny, you're doing everything right. And then suddenly, you're being told you somehow owe the government money you already spent on rent, food, heat, and actual life expenses. It's not easy these days either. So today we're breaking this all down. And I'm going to explain it as easy as I can on what's happening in the real world. So let's start at the beginning. Social Security clawback is just a dramatic way of saying we think you paid too much. Now we want it back. They're going to claw it back. That's it. Simple definition, but the impact is anything but simple. Yeah, these letters feel like a punch in the gut. Yeah, boom. I mean, you're at the end of your life. You're getting towards the end of your life, and you get something like that, especially when you're retired and every dollar is already spoken for. And the big question everyone asks is, why is this happening to me right now? And even bigger, how did the system mess up so bad that people are now being billed for mistakes that go way back 10 years, even 12 years from before? So let's walk through some real stories, all retirement. There's no disability stories, no politics, just real people being blindsided by the system. Let's start with Diane O'Brien, okay? And she owes $88,000. So she retired, okay? She collected her Social Security retirement. Now, before that, she collected a survivor benefit from her late husband. Totally normal. Tons of widows do this. I did that myself. I had survivor's benefits, and then I applied for my own Social Security. Well, suddenly her Social Security check just stopped recently. No explanation, no warning, just gone. Then she got the clawback letter. They told her she owed $88,000 in overpayments. She said the moment was earth-shattering. Yeah, I can only imagine. Now, let me answer the question I know many of you are already thinking, because I had the same question too. I mean, seriously, can someone even collect their own retirement and at the same time a survivor benefit? Because I couldn't. Once I started collecting my own, they stopped survivor benefits. And the short answer to this is not fully. Most of the time, Social Security pays you one full benefit, whichever one is higher. The other one gets reduced or replaced. I've never known it to be reduced, but I did look it up. In some cases, yes. If your Social Security accidentally paid you both at the same time, full, that's their mistake, not yours, and it wasn't Diane's. But when they discovered the mistake, even if it's 10 years later, they claw it back. The clock, yes. And that is exactly what happened to Diane. Yeah. She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't hide anything. She claimed everything that she had. She didn't try to game the system. She trusted the numbers that they gave her. Like anyone would, like most of us do. We just trust what they tell us that we're getting. And the agency's mistake turned into her debt. Most retirees assume the government knows what it's doing. We all do. We do. We think, well, this is my check. This is the amount of Social Security, calculated it right, and they know the rules. Who am I to question it, right? They trust the government's math more than their own. And this is a big mistake I think that we're all making. Now, here's one. This is a spousal benefit miscalculation. It's another big source of a clawback. Now, this one hits a lot of retirees, especially women who spent years raising children, working part-time, and who had lower earnings. There are documented cases where people were told they owed $28,000, $32,000, $40,000. Yeah, because of a miscalculation, all because Social Security miscalculated a spousal benefit years ago. Human error or old computer error. These retirees had no idea anything was wrong. They got their monthly check that looked official. They assumed it was correct. And then a decade later, the system finally does an audit and says, oh, actually, we've been paying you too much and you owe us now. Again, the retiree didn't do anything wrong. They trusted the government's math. And now they're the ones paying for the government's mistakes. Another retired widow in her 70s received a letter saying she owed $21,000. She had been receiving her survivor benefits for 12 years. 12 years. Then someone discovered the agency had used the wrong earnings record years ago. And instead of Social Security saying, well, that's our mistake, they said, you need to pay it back. Imagine being in your 70s on a fixed income and suddenly you owe more than $20,000. How are you going to do that? This is why retirees are panicking right now. Have you heard about any of this? It's actually trending right now, where retirees are getting these letters. Now, let's talk about this retired couple, both in their 60s, who got a clawback bill for $13,000. They did nothing unusual. They didn't change their income. They didn't hide anything. A computer simply reviewed old records one day and found a formula error. They found a formula error from 9 years earlier. So it automatically generated a clawback letter 9 years later. That shows how behind the system was. These clawbacks aren't about people being dishonest. They're about a delayed system finally waking up. And now we get to one of the most unbelievable clawbacks because it wasn't caused by a retiree. It wasn't even caused by humans. It was caused by a computer glitch, an old computer glitch. A retired woman had a small pension, totally normal. She also received her Social Security retirement. But Social Security system accidentally entered her pension numbers twice, which made it look like she had more outside income than she actually did. So here's what happened. The system duplicated her pension, right? It made it look like she had more money than she did. But Social Security never reduced her Social Security. They kept paying her the full amount. I know it's really hard to understand how this one happened. And then, years later, after finally catching her own mistake, they billed her $17,000. She didn't lie. She didn't hide her pensions. They're the ones that doubled it, not her. The system doubled. It was an old computer system. And now she's paying the price. This is a perfect example of why clawbacks are so unfair. These letters that retirees are getting. Sometimes it's not a human error. It was just an old computer misreading something. So why now? Why are these letters suddenly everywhere? The Social Security system has been behind for years. Mountains of old files, thousands of miscalculations, rules that even humans can't even keep straight. For decades, these errors just sat there. But now, government agencies are quietly rolling out AI. Yes, auditing tools that scan old records, compare payouts against formulas, look for inconsistencies, mismatches in survivor, spousal, and pension-related benefits. Flag cases humans never got around to reviewing. AI can do in minutes what human staff couldn't do in years. So if suddenly we're seeing 10-year-old errors popping up, 12-year-old calculations being corrected, cases from 2013, 2018, all getting clawback letters, massive batches of mistakes being discovered all at once is happening right now. It lines up perfectly with an automated audit system being introduced into Social Security. It's also coming for IRS, so just give you a clue. Yeah. So before AI, humans couldn't keep up with all of this. Errors slipped through. No one had time to recheck millions of cases. But now, after AI, the system can instantly scan every retiree's file going back decades and spit out a list of overpayments in seconds. That's why we're seeing this now. Well, it's the same pattern happening. State tax audits, unemployment fraud detections, and Medicare billing audits. Everywhere AI gets rolled out, old discrepancies suddenly come to light. Staff shortages, old computer system, massive backlog pauses. Yeah, massive backlogs. So what happened was during COVID, everything slowed down even more. Reviews stopped, paperwork slowed down, updates didn't get processed. So now they tried to clean up the mess. All the forgotten errors are resurfacing all at once. And retirees, the people least able to absorb a financial shock, are catching the fallout. All right, let's talk about what we can do, what we can actually do, because getting a clawback letter is terrifying. But there are steps you can take, so let's just relax. And there's also advice for anyone already collecting Social Security and for everyone coming up to retirement in this new AI world we're living in. Let's go through this slowly, okay? If you already got a clawback letter, open it, don't ignore it, please. The worst thing you can do is freeze. Social Security has deadlines. Open it, breathe, and take the emotion out of it completely. Call them, call Social Security, and ask them to explain the overpayment in simple English. Take notes, okay? Because they're going to explain it to you. A lot of people never get clarity because they don't ask. And sometimes they even don't explain it clearly, which usually tells you the mistake is on their side. But ask for all of your options. Okay, a payment plan, a reconsideration, which is an appeal, or a waiver. Please ask for a waiver. You're a senior citizen if you're getting these letters. Excuse me. Many seniors never ask for a waiver, and many qualify, especially when the overpayment was their error, not yours. Get everything in writing, notes, dates, who to talk to, and who you talk to. This protects you later, so don't panic. Clawbacks look scary, but they are negotiable. You can push back. You really can. Just push back. Push back. Okay, now here's some advice for people who are currently collecting Social Security. Double check your benefit amount every year. Don't assume the number is correct. Compare it to your earnings records, okay, and compare it to online calculators. If it looks too high, ask. Better to catch it now than 10 years later because AI will catch it. If you haven't already, which I'm sure you probably do, you have a My Social Security account online. Mistakes show up there first. You don't want a surprise 5 years later, down the road, okay? Review your earnings records now. This is the big one. If Social Security has the wrong wages listed, even from 20 years ago, your benefit can be wrong, okay? And with AI coming in, it will catch those mistakes eventually. Better you catch them first instead of continuing on with being overpaid. If you get a survivor or spousal benefits, understand the rules. Write down the rules. Go in and ask questions. Many clawbacks come from people not knowing what's really going on. You can't collect both benefits fully. One replaces the other. And switching benefits changes your amounts, okay? If you're receiving a survivor benefit or your own benefit, know which one is actually being paid. If you have any kind of pension, check how it affects your Social Security. Blech. Especially if you are a teacher, a government worker, a union retiree, or anyone affected by WEP or GPO. Yeah. Because if Social Security miscalculates that, you're going to get a clawback years later. Keep your paperwork, all of it. Letters, statements, explanations, decisions. If AI audits old files, and it will, you will want your own documentation. This is the part that nobody talks about if everybody needs to hear it. Social Security is becoming automated. AI is auditing everything now. If something was wrong in 1998, AI is going to find it. The IRS will too. So the next generation of retirees, you Generation X and millennials, you have to be more proactive. Before you apply for Social Security, verify your entire lifetime earnings record, okay? Get your account going, My Social Security. This is the foundation of your check. If it's wrong, your payment will be wrong. People don't realize this is where miscalculations are born, okay? Know exactly what you're applying for. Your own retirement, a spousal benefit, a survivor benefit. Know what you're applying for. People get clawbacks when they don't understand which benefit they actually are going to receive, or for retirees, what they actually did receive. Understand that taking Social Security at 62 locks in a smaller amount forever. If you take it early, you're accepting a smaller check permanently, and AI will not miss a penny of what you owe or what you should have gotten. Yeah, we're here, everybody. Calculate both benefits, yours and your spouse's, before you apply. A lot of miscalculations happen right here. Know your numbers before you walk in. But I think it's a good idea to walk in and talk to a Social Security worker. Keep a folder, either paper or digital, with all your Social Security paperwork. AI is going to scan decades of data. Be prepared, okay? And if you don't understand something, ask. Don't assume the numbers are correct. This is where most clawbacks will start. I don't think AI is the actual enemy, but it will find every mistake, even the old ones. So the smarter we are now, the less likely we're going to be blindsided later. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't scare you too much, but AI is here. They're also going to be going through the IRS. I know. So, isn't that great to know? But know what you're getting. Go and look at your account now. And if you get a clawback letter, which there are a lot of people that are doing that right now, it's kind of a trend right now. And a lot of people aren't talking about it, or you're not hearing about it. But there are ways that you can get around it. You need to ask for a waiver. If it wasn't your fault, you need to ask for a waiver. We don't need to be in our retirement years having to pay back a whole bunch of money, okay? So my morning show, I just want to let you know, my morning show is a little bit more relaxed, more easier subjects. But my afternoon, I'm letting you know what's going on out here. A lot of things are senior centered, but Gen X and millennials too, because guess what? You're moving. And don't think that your Social Security isn't going to be viable when you get there, Gen X or millennials or even Gen Z. It'll be here. We thought that too. It'll be here. It'll be here. Okay? And it'll be viable for you too. But you need to know what's going on. If you have a lot of holes in your employment, your Social Security is going to be low. If you keep working, they calculate it. Find out how they calculate it. Start now paying attention to your Social Security because you'll get there. It's so amazing how fast it comes. It really is. I will see you tomorrow. Check me out tomorrow. Go with the morning show. It's called Morning Me, MVL, Morning Me, and then your afternoon, okay? I love you. Mwah. Yes. More stuff to come.